The Specialist is the Sylvester Stallone mega blockbuster hit movie where he showed the world that plots are for pussies. Now let's blow some shit up. It starts off back in the 80s when Stallone and James Woods used to blow up bridges together. They have an efficient system where Stallone builds the explosive, studies the structure's layout to find the most effective placement, then places the explosive, while Woods has the important role of pushing the button.
You're the rigger. I am the trigger.
They see a car and are gonna blow it up when the little girl in the back seat starts mean mugging Stallone. But fuck that, Stallone ain't no bitch, so he runs up there to tell that little shit to her smug little face that she's the reason her parents divorced before jumping to safety while she blows the fuck up. Who's laughing now, bitch? Woods has a surprise for Stallone, who's flattered but also enraged, partly because of the blatant disregard for gun safety, but mostly because of that little f***ing girl. So Stallone beats Woods' face in until he goes comatose, which led to them going their separate ways, with neither side willing to admit fault. Now it's 10 years later, and Sharon Stone wants Stallone to blow some people up.
Have you decided to take the job?
Which sounds really stupid, and a gun would make so much more sense.
Bullets are imprecise.
Can't argue with that. Then we see, when she was a little kid, she watched Eric Roberts order Dolph Lundgren's execution.
Waste.
Watching Eric Roberts do anything is painful enough. This is unforgivable. So he gives her his 3 simple rules.
First rule, don't go near them again. Second rule, don't contact me. Rule 3, I kill you.
Anyways, James Woods is back and is at a party with Stan Lee and Sharon Stone when Eric Roberts fucks everything up again by being there. This party is for A-listers, so get the fuck out. But first, he flirts with Sharon Stone, who's confused on how they're the same age now.
A lot's happened since you've been gone.
And that answers that. While she's wondering what's taking security so long, Stallone is realizing Roberts is going to be a major part of this movie and gets so pissed off
Hold it, please.
that he flips his shit while giving the greatest one-liners you'll ever hear.
I hate knives.
Because they're just not as precise as explosives.
You son of a...
I believe there's a vacancy.
Because now that seat's empty, except for all the blood and broken glass that she has to sit on because she's fucking terrified. Now we're back with Roberts, and Detective Batista shows up, and together they grab this guy and just start beating the piss out of him for no reason. But it's really hard to give a shit about any of that because Swedish pop sensation Gunther makes a cameo and steals the entire scene. Later, Stallone shows his advanced CIA training by tailing them like a ghost when he follows them everywhere they go while staring at them and wearing a giant earpiece. Then, during the super covert move of walking back and forth in front of your target's car, he's somehow spotted.
Hey, you! You think you know me?
No, of course not. You're not a real celebrity. While he normally hates those, that one's so small and cute, he just can't stay mad at it. Now that he'll be a suspect if anything suspicious happens, Stallone decides it's time to start blowing people up. His first target is Batista, who thinks his accountant might be hiding something.
Word is, Manny, you're skimming.
While they're doing that, Stallone is under deep cover, disguised as Tony Montana. Turns out, Batista was right and the accountant was skimming.
September's missing.
we never learn what Sherlock Holmes detective skills it took for Batista to notice something wasn't right when an entire fucking month was missing, and we never will because Stallone blows him precisely the fuck up. And while he's at it, fuck your shoe. James Woods tells Stan Lee that he can find out who's blowing up his men.
Brilliant planning, totally professional. Gotta be a specialist.
But Eric Roberts, who can't just be happy he's in a real movie, thinks he can find him better.
I'll find him.
Lee tells him nobody wants him here and to shut the f up.
I don't hear you saying okay. What would you say?
Okay.
That's nice.
So Stan Lee calls his buddy Andy Richter, who obviously has a lot of pull with the Miami Police Department, and now Woods is the head of their bomb squad.
Hey, come on, boys and girls, come on. What are we doing here? Let's look alive, huh?
Meanwhile, Stallone gets to work on the next bombing by shooting an 80s music video while doing yoga at his home, which is also an abandoned gear factory.
Oh, you touched my tra-la-la.
Anyways, all of that was for nothing because his next target, Gus, isn't stupid. After finding an explosive under his car, he disposes of it properly.
Here's your tip.
And drives away safely. But that sneaky son of a bitch rigged the keypad, and it turns out there's a second bomb in the car. Gus hits the ejection seat and is doing great until he faceplants and completely disintegrates. You might think that whole decoy thing was pointless and unnecessary, and it definitely was, which is why it's fucking awesome. Speaking of awesome, James Woods has now officially lost his mind
You think I give a shit if this whole fucking block goes up? I don't.
and spends 90% of his scenes screaming
You sanctimonious prick.
and being an asshole.
Who gave you permission to smile? Shut up.
That would never get old.
Shut up.
Sorry. Now we find out the shocking twist. Sharon Stone is working with James Woods.
Shut up.
I told you he was crazy in order to get Stallone. But the most important thing is that everyone still hates Eric Roberts.
What the hell are you doing here?
Oh, f off. The next day, Stallone has another genius disguise as a tennis player at a pool. But that doesn't matter because he blows up Eric Roberts. He blew up Sharon Stone too, but it was totally worth it. And this movie just got a whole lot better.
My son is lying in a box.
You were the one who laid it up.
We get it, Woods is awesome. You don't have to keep reminding us.
Find this explosive expert, and you bring him to me.
Woods doesn't know how to do that, but what he does know how to do is take out risque ads in the classifieds.
Lonely, needy, deeply hurt, will be discreet.
That gets a bunch of perverts calling in.
Hi, baby. Are you wearing any underwear?
And wouldn't you know it, one of them just happens to be Stallone.
Jerking off is what really gets you off. You stinking maggot!
This movie has taken a really dark turn.
I'm coming, Ray. I'm coming.
Anyways, Stallone calms himself down by crashing a funeral. And holy shit, this movie has really lost its focus. To get things back on track, it raises Sharon Stone from the dead.
So how did I look?
Even though we saw her dead body, as long as Eric Roberts is still dead, I say we just go with it. Then immediately after, James Woods shows up to crash the same funeral.
Open the casket.
After Stallone, and now Woods doing this,
Open the fucking casket.
the poor family must think Nana has some dark secrets.
Bitch.
Yeah, she was. Then later that night, the movie decides it should try explaining that whole back from the dead thing.
Poor lady OD'd in the emergency room, so I dropped my wallet in her purse, and here I am.
You know what, movie? Fuck you too. Since the saucy newspaper ad didn't work.
Fuck you, Ray! Fuck you!
They go even dumber and hand out flyers instead.
If you happen to see him, call the number on the back.
But wouldn't you know it, they find them at the very first place they look.
Back from the dead.
For a woman, Sharon Stone is a terrible liar,
You know, I was just going to call you.
so they kidnap her.
Take her to the
Ned,
car.
I have a couple of things I have.
And Woods goes after Stallone while still managing to throw out some sick birds.
Get out of here. Get a new shirt.
Luckily, Sharon Stone is able to assault this innocent woman, which gives Stallone a 30-second head start,
Leon's men are on their way up.
which is 25 seconds more than he needs. When they get up there, James Woods' leg starts to cramp up a bit, so he tells them to go in first and he'll be right behind them. He really wants to go in there, but boy is his leg cramping and he doesn't want to hold them back, so they should just look around a little bit more. Okay, that wasn't that bad. His leg's starting to Fuck this, he's out. But the real MVPs are this kitchen staff, who despite multiple explosions and parts of the building falling into the fucking ocean, are still hard at work and only slightly inconvenienced by the brawl happening right in front of them. Woods takes Sharon Stone to the crime boss and tells him she's responsible for his son's death.
Ray Quick is working for her.
I guess we're supposed to forget killing his son was part of their deal,
You get your 3 corpses, I get Ray Quick. That was the bargain.
because it seems kind of important, but she never fucking mentions it. Anyways, she goes out for some seafood and immediately explodes. But we've been through this before and know that's complete bullshit. So they head to Stallone's Gear Factory music studio,
My ding ding dong.
and random shit just starts exploding everywhere. So nobody can get close to the building except for James Woods, who just walks right in.
I'm sorry. Should I have knocked?
And that's going just great until he randomly explodes too. Then everything starts exploding at once, which they're able to easily outrun. Then in the epilogue, they blow up Stan Lee and then drive away to the most upbeat music ever. Because if this movie has one message, it's fuck it.